Rode pod mic muted every time for no reason. Restart. Hey guys, it's Colby. Stupid Rode pod mic keeps muting itself. I didn't mute it. It is good to see you, and we are going to be jumping into David Warwick's testimony today, which is Melanie Gibbs' husband. I do not know if they're together to this day. So we'll leave that for what it is. That's not really my business either way. But in this time, what's interesting is that David Warwick was in the house on the night that JJ was taken. And so he had a dream, supposedly, that it was happening. And that's just a very odd, weird thing. Something's very weird about this whole situation. That's the one thing I do remember. And Melanie Gibbs' testimony just brought that up as well. So if you are new here, please consider subscribing to the channel and being a part of our community. As you can see in the chat, we have an amazing community. We have amazing people. And, you know, a lot of people are going through it right now, and just know you have support and love. We are really just blessed as a group to be together. One more reminder before we start. We have a giveaway going on. I just reposted it for you. So if you're looking for it, is new, go enter the giveaway. There is a members giveaway and there is a community giveaway for Walmart gift cards before the Christmas starts. And you have a few more days till the 15th before that ends, and we announce all the winners of that giveaway. All right. With all that being said, I love you guys. Appreciate you. And we are going to continue into this trial. It has been really interesting to hear all these different perspectives from other people. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about a lot of these people. So let's get to it.
In this trial since it started?
No.
All right. Have
you
you discussed your testimony with anyone else?
No.
Very well. Mr. Wixom, if you'd like to inquire on direct, you may.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Warwick, will you please state your full name for the record and spell it?
David Dale Warwick.
Will you spell it for the reporter, please?
Oh, spell it. Sorry. D-A-V-I-D.
Hold on. It sounds like it's on normal speed. No, it's not. It's fast. Wow. Subtitles. That's what we need.
A-L-E-W-A-R-W-I-C-K.
Thank you. And Mr. Warwick, where do you live?
Pleasant Grove, Utah.
What do you do for a living?
A general contractor.
I'm going to ask you some questions, drawing your attention back to roughly 5 years ago. Are you familiar with the name Chad Daybell?
Yes.
How are you familiar with his name?
I think since 2012, if I recall.
Wow.
When did you first become familiar, or how did you first become familiar with his name?
2012.
There was a book that he had done for, done a book with Julie Rowe. And I just knew that he was the author or publisher of that.
At any point in time, did you have any contact with Mr. Daybell?
At that time?
At any point in time?
Yes.
When did you first have contact with him?
He reached out to me to wanting to do a book with me.
Do you recall approximately when that occurred?
2015 is what I'm thinking that was.
How did he reach out to you?
He's communicated. He's called me, he's texted me, and emailed me. And I just can't remember which one was first.
Had you ever initiated any of that contact?
No.
What was your reaction to his request that you write a book?
I just said I needed to think about it, and because of the content, I needed approval from above.
Okay. So did you decide ultimately?
Approval from above. Oh, God. I'm pretty sure God did not want you to do a book with Chad Daybell.
To write a book for him?
No.
After that initial contact, however it came, did he continue to reach out to you to request this?
Yes.
How often did he reach out to you?
Probably 3 or 4 times over a year.
How did he do that?
Text and email mainly.
Thank you, Emily. Yeah, if you guys do not know, if you're questioning or wondering what's going on, this is not a new trial. I know Tess has been amazing at posting that for you guys. Some people have just been confused. I've never seen Chad's trial, so we're going back watching it because I'm working on some projects, and it's one thing that I've never done. And so I want to get it out of the way and know what happened, no longer have those questions, and move forward.
I think we only had 1 phone call.
What was your reaction to those continued requests?
I just said no.
At any point in time, did you ever have any personal contact with Mr. Daybell?
Yes.
When do you recall that first happening?
The first time was at a meeting in Rigby, Idaho.
And tell the jury about this meeting. What was the meeting?
Um, it's they were having a meeting about priesthood power and dealing with the darkness of this world and evil.
Who was having the meeting?
John Miller.
And approximately when did this meeting occur?
If I remember right, it was fall of 2015.
So he can remember effing 2015, 2012, and Melanie Gibb can't remember 90% of what was going on in that group. I'm sorry, I have a really hard time believing that, because I understand not having a great memory. I don't personally struggle with that. I have a really good memory, and I'm not trying to boast, but for him to be able to call at least within the realm, and for her to not be able to do that at all, it blows my mind, because it just feels like very selective memory. But, whatever.
And why did you have occasion to attend that meeting?
Because John Miller reached out to me.
Did you
asked me to come?
Did you know Mr. Miller before this?
I did not.
Did you have any understanding why Mr. Miller had reached out to you?
Yes, I had done a few firesides, and anyway, so people got to know me through others that way. And so he reached out to me thinking that I would be interested in this.
I think you indicated that this meeting occurred in Rigby, Idaho.
Yes.
And where in Rigby was this meeting?
Where?
Mhm.
It was at his home.
Do you recall who all was in attendance at the meeting?
Not everybody. Most of the people I didn't know.
Who do you recall and was at the meeting?
John Miller, Larry Hilton, Tom Harrison, Bob Walker, Hector Sosa. Now, some of these guys I met because we carpooled up, so that's why I remember their names. And then the others that were there, that's where I met Chad.
When you were at this meeting, did you have any occasion to
It's
have a
interesting to me. It's interesting to me because at the end of the day, this all started from. It all started from the LDS idea, right? So it's very it's like get together in these like extracurricular LDS things, and then turn it into start to branch people into further and further down the road into their own cult. I just think that's interesting.
conversation with Chad?
Yes.
Can you explain to the jury what was the conversation about and how did that come to be?
I don't like that.
He just came up and said that he was going to go to his house, and he wanted me to come over. He said Julie Rowe and a few of her associates were coming, and they actually showed up.
By the way, I just want to go ahead and say this, and this is just my opinion, and this is not to be mean or rude, but just the truth. I had never really seen anything about Julie Rowe. They included her in our Netflix documentary, and I don't know why she was there, because she's not going to provide good context. But anyway, my opinion of her is she sounds like Lori's beginning. She is the tip of the iceberg and where Lori started this whole journey, because she's a lot of the vernacular of like, I think she thinks she's a prophetess. She thinks she does energy work. I think Lori found her books first, because that's the name I had heard. I want to say at least in Hawaii, some point I'd heard that name. I've heard the name Julie Rowe. I never heard the name of Chad Daybell, but I'd heard the name Julie Rowe, and I knew she wrote books, so I just thought she was an author. I didn't know at that point that you could kind of be an author in a sense of like you can just write books and get them published, and it doesn't have to be like an official thing. It can just be like anybody can make a book. I didn't know that. So at that point I was like, she must be like this big author. But my personal impression is just she was nutty as a nutty bar, just being real.
With this meeting too. And anyway, I said, no, I'm not here. I'm here for this meeting. And I didn't want to go. I wanted to stay because I was asked to be at this meeting by the host. So
What was Chad specifically asking of you?
he just asked me to come with him.
And did you eventually do that?
Yeah, so he went and talked to John Miller, and they were having a lunch break. And John said, yeah, go ahead and go. It'll be okay. Just, we can just resume when you get back.
At that point, did you want to go?
No, I didn't. But there was some curiosity to what's going on. So, but but I just went out of respect.
And where did you go?
We went to Chad's home
Where was his home located?
in Rexburg.
What did you do at his home?
We walked around his property, and this is the first time I had met Julie Rowe also. And basically, she was helped telling him how the property was to be laid out and organized for tents to be set up and a building to be built for preparations.
So Chad's property, where he unalived possibly 3 people, but we know for a fact that Tammy was taken there, and we know Tylee and JJ were buried there, was going to be the place where they build a building and put tents. How convenient is that Chad bought that property back in what, 02, whenever they bought that property? So stupid. So
Why
stupid.
did Julie Roll explain this information? What was her basis of understanding?
My understanding is she had a vision, or she was having visions. I wasn't informed on the details of what was going on. It was more of a meet and get acquainted.
So as you're meeting her, she's having a "that's so Raven" moment and telling you all this stuff, and that wasn't just a lot.
Did you recall meeting anybody else at that meeting besides Ms. Rowe? Let me withdraw that and be clear. While at Chad's property, do you recall meeting anybody else besides being there with Chad and Ms. Rowe?
Yeah, there were several other men there, but I don't recall their names.
Did you ever have occasion to meet Chad's wife?
Yes,
And who was that you met?
Tammy.
When did
really
you meet
sad.
Tammy?
When we were in their living room, Chad had her come out and introduced us to his wife.
Was that at the same meeting that you were there with Julie Roll that Chad had brought you to?
I know this is the stupidest thing I could possibly say, but he did not deserve her in any way, shape, or form. And it's just every time I hear about her, it just makes me sad.
Yes.
Did Tammy participate in the conversation or walking around the property?
No, she didn't.
Any understanding why she did not do that?
I just didn't feel like she was interested, but that was just my feelings.
How did that meeting eventually end?
When we got done walking around the property, we just left and went back to John Miller's.
Did you have any other interaction with Chad at that point, at that meeting?
These names don't even sound like real people. I'm not being disrespectful.
No.
Do you recall any other occasions that you met Chad personally after that meeting?
Yes.
When's the next time that you recall having met with him personally?
There was a conference in Brigham City, Utah, that I was asked to speak at, and Chad was there.
To the best you
I
can
think we
recall.
also need to define conference. Any gathering of any kind of people they consider a conference. See, like, I don't know. When you don't know, you don't know. So I just want to clear that up for everybody. Like, this whole idea of the books, you can publish a book on Amazon. I published a book on Amazon. Like, you can self-publish. You can have a really small company call themselves a published company and publish books for people. So, and then I think that's what these meetings, these conferences, like Melanie Gibb, like I'm immediately assuming it's a big group of people, but it's really not. We're talking possibly 30 people at the most is what I'm assuming. So these conferences are not as big as I guess you initially would think. The word conference is, I think, exaggerated.
Paul, approximately when was that conference?
2017 is my guess. That's the best that'd be my guess. I don't remember exactly.
But it was after your meeting at John Miller's house?
Yes.
What was your interaction with Chad at that conference?
We just talked. I saw him over there at his booth when we had a break, and I went and just talked with him for a few minutes.
Anything of note in the conversation?
No.
Did you have any impressions at that point of Chad's just general nature and his demeanor?
No, Chad's always been very, very kind, very meek.
Anything else about the way he conducted himself or interacted with people
I'm going to keep
at
my
that
mouth
point in
shut.
time?
No. Well,
When's the next time that you recall seeing Chad in person?
at Lori Vallow's house in Chandler, Arizona,
And when did that happen?
August of 2019.
What was your occasion for being at that meeting?
Lori, I was with Melanie, and we were doing a couple firesides in Arizona, and Lori called when we were coming back down from the northern Arizona and said,
So
hey,
I just want to say this, and I want to say this for everybody who's LDS. The number one point being, no matter what someone invites you to as far as LDS or anything of that nature, you have to be really careful because there's people who use the same language because they are technically LDS, but then they sprinkle in all this crazy stuff. And so it's adding on to the religion. If it goes against what you believe in your religion, you should really, really consider what this person's teaching. Because like, oh, I'm going to go to this fireside tonight. There's this person who did this. And then you go and they start saying all these things that are outside of your own core beliefs, red flags. That's why I'm so confused by so many people were starting to listen to them, you know? And I think it was little bits at a time, not a whole plate. It was little tiny crumbs at a time until they all got to where they were.
we got some friends here. We'd like you. They wanted her to bring me over to meet me. So they said they were just having like a luncheon, you know, she had prepared food and just asked us to come and stop by.
When you say Melanie, are we speaking of your
Please
spouse?
ask
Yes.
her, ask what they ate. Please ask what they ate. Please.
Who is your wife, just to clarify for the jury?
Who's what?
Who is your wife? What's Melanie?
Yeah.
What was Melanie's last name at the time?
Oh, sorry, Gib. Sorry.
And you're still married?
Yes.
So who do you recall being at that luncheon or that meeting at Lori's house?
Chad, Lori, Melanie Boudreaux, I think was her name. Alex Cox, Zulima, and then there was a lady there named Julie.
Was it the same Julie Rowe?
No.
The Goofy Gang. Bunch of goofs. You're all a bunch of goofs at this freaking fireside. You're all a bunch of freaking... Oh. The Goof Gang, man.
During that meeting, was there any conversation that occurred?
Yeah, it was
Exactly, Julie.
sitting around a table and eating food, and
Please say it.
conversation was
What did-
happening
what
while
did
we were
she make?
eating.
Anything else? What was the general subject of the conversation while you were at the meeting?
I guarantee you she made those stupid enchiladas. I guarantee it.
That they were talking about the 144,000 and about the gathering of the 144,000. And
I'm going to pause you there for the jury's sake. When you say they were talking about it, who was talking about the 144,000?
Chad and Lori, but they were all talking about it. It was not really a formal meeting. It was kind of a lot of conversation. And I was just picking up on what they were talking about.
To the best you can recall, what things do you remember Chad or Lori saying about the 144,000?
That they were responsible to gather them. It was their call.
Now, were these things that just one of them was saying? Let me withdraw that. Was Chad saying these things,
I don't remember which one was saying it.
but one of the two?
I would say it was one of the two because they were the host of this meeting.
Any reason to think that they
Do you see what I mean by meeting? We're talking about a bunch of people getting together at someone's house, talking about anything.
both weren't embracing or believing whatever it is that they were talking about?
Yeah. Yes.
Anything else that came up in
Oh,
that
thank you.
conversation besides the 144,000?
The Goofy Gatherers. That's
They talked about they all have these special gifts they were given and what they were gonna. They talked about they had multiple lives and
Dude, that should have been your number one red flag, David. That's why it's confusing to me. Because, like, anybody who backtracks on this stuff, I just don't understand. Like, I wasn't even LDS when my mom and I had a conversation, and the only thing she said to me was that there was multiple lives, and I shut her down instantly because guess what? That's not anywhere in LDS teaching. That's not anywhere in the Christian church. That's not anywhere even in the LDS lore. You won't find it. There's no multiple where you go and you, like, let's also define that. What they mean by multiple lives is literally die and go and come back as a different person, same spirit, put into a new body, born again, and relive a whole life and get married and have kids. And then that same spirit dies. Your body dies. That same spirit goes back to heaven and does a recheck. So first of all, you've been born multiple times. You've had to go through everything in your life multiple times. And I just want to define that so we know what we're talking about. So we're talking about literal born, die, right? That alone, if you believe in the LDS church, should be a red flag. It makes zero sense to me because you should go, I know that this isn't part of the LDS church. So what the hell are you all on? That would have been the first thing you should question.
done things in previous lives.
when you talk about these special gifts, did they elaborate at all on these special gifts?
It was, yeah, there was, I just remember a couple. One was, had power over the elements of the earth and had to be in certain places a certain time to facilitate whatever God was doing.
Shut up. Elements. Did I not show you guys the frickin' Twilight clip where the guy can control the elements? Come on now. This is literal superhero magic. We're jumping into another realm, and this should have been your number one question is, okay, is God doing it, or do you have the ability to do so? Those are two different things. God splitting the Red Sea or Moses being able to do it are two different things. That means Moses had that ability, or was it God gave Moses that ability? You have to define that, especially if, oh my gosh.
I hate to interrupt, but could I have some foundation as to exactly which one of these guests was that talking about that?
Mr. Wixom.
Thank you. I'll ask some questions, Judge. So you just mentioned this gift about power over the elements. Do you recall for the jury who was it at this meeting that had those types of powers?
Zulema.
I knew it.
Were there any other special powers that were mentioned at the meeting?
My thing is, if you're going to say something publicly, okay, like let's just say that I tell you guys that I can bench 600 pounds. The thing is, if I'm hanging out with you guys all the time and at some point this conversation keeps coming up and then we go to the gym, I feel like you'd want to see that. Like who's just taking her word for it? Like, where's the proof that you can control elements? And like, what can you do? Like, I'm genuinely curious. Can you make a tornado with your fingy? Can you make it rain? Are you Lori while I'm sleeping in the car and you're window wiping the shit away? What can you do? I'm actually curious. I'd like to see it. You guys ever seen Judge Judy? It's one of Kelsey's favorites. And she always goes, I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it.
And yeah, that I can recall, no. I remember Alex was he either knew or he was told that he was the angel that came to stop Laman and Lemuel.
Dog, come
when
on.
Nephi was being smitten.
Come on. All the LDS people know there was an angel in the Nephi first, which is the first book of the Book of Mormon. I'm going to butcher this, but basically Nephi is the brother of Laman and Lemuel, and Nephi is getting beat up and he's going to die. And so an angel comes to stop it all. And they think that, like, again, LDS lore, that Alex was that angel. Would that not just make you be like, why do you think that's such a specific, weird timing? And why would Alex be that angel? That makes no sense. Like, can you imagine Alex Cox coming down in a white robe as an angel? Oh, please stop it right there. This is not good. But in your next life, you're going to be a murderer? Stupid as hell.
Is that an LDS reference?
Yes.
What did Alex think about that or say about that
Dumbass.
particular belief?
He felt good because he was doing something good. He felt good that he was a good guy.
See, I told you guys, I freaking told you. Alex had such self-worth issues that he was duped the worst because all he wanted was to be accepted. I told you. That's all he wanted.
And during that meeting, did Chad ever discuss with you any role that he might want you to have in this gathering?
At that time, I don't think he did. I think it was for me just to get acquainted.
Did you have any discussions with him about your reaction to some of those things that were being taught?
Yes.
What discussion did you have with him about that?
Come on, David.
But if somebody's going to have the position to call the 144,000, that I felt like that would be a prophet of God that would have that responsibility.
Is it fair to say that you didn't believe that Chad was a prophet of God at that point?
No,
At any point?
no.
What's up, guys?
So did you tend to agree with some of those teachings that Chad was engaging in that day?
Judge, I'm going to object to the characterization.
I can respond.
Oh, it's overruled. Go ahead.
I feel like I'm one of
Did
the
you have any
prosecutors where I'm
disagreement? I'm sorry. Let me withdraw that. You can ask the question if you remember what it was.
I'm sorry.
I'll re-ask it. Did you agree or disagree generally with the things that Chad and others were teaching at that meeting?
I disagreed.
Do you remember specifically, besides the issue of a prophet, anything else that you disagreed with?
Yeah, they did. They talked about Satan having power to push people out of their bodies and taking possession of them. And then the person's spirit would be stuck in limbo. They couldn't go forward because the body was still alive.
Did you discuss that teaching with Chad at all?
Yeah, I just said Satan was never allowed that power because that's
Yeah.
something he wanted to do from the beginning.
Exactly. That's a perfect point. I mean, he still went with it, so we're gonna have to listen what happens next. But that's the number one thing that doesn't make sense to me is how would you believe that Satan could have that power? Because if he could hijack people that much, no one would stand a chance. That would be his number one go-to, is turn everybody into the demons. Like, that's just it's so stupid, and it's so against anything that they don't even teach that kind of stuff in the LDS church. So where did that come from?
And God put a boundary there so he could not do that.
So you didn't believe these things. Is that
No.
fair? Okay. During that meeting, did you notice anything about the way Chad and Lori interacted with one another?
They seemed really close. I mean, they were, they were really friendly with one another.
When you said really close and friendly, could you describe that more for the jury?
Well, I just noticed when Lori brought the food to the table, she kind of leaned on him as she put his plate down.
What did that indicate to you?
Affection.
For speculation.
Say it, Judge.
Sustained.
Please, someone tell me what they were eating. Please. You'll make my freaking
Did you notice
day.
anything else about their behavior that indicated to you anything about the relationship?
No.
Had you ever met Lori before that meeting?
No.
And was there another time that you interacted with Mr. Daybell?
Yes.
When do you recall that occurring?
It was September of 2019.
And what was that occasion?
I was at Lori's house to do a podcast with Lori and Melanie. And so I was there for that weekend, and Chad came over.
Where was this
When
podcast
you said you were
being
at-
published? If you guys didn't know, by the way, I'm not going to give her story away, but part of this whole wild thing is that back in 2019, Kelsey, the detective Benson, aka Kelsey Ryan, who's my wife, found the podcast and heard about it. But I had no idea. I knew Lori said she had done a podcast, but like I couldn't give two shits if she was doing a podcast. I didn't even know what that meant at that time. Remember, this is early 2018. So podcasting wasn't even like a really big thing yet for everybody. And so all I knew is that Lori went to meetings and that she was like all over the place. And I told you guys straight up when it first started, I actually told Lori, I'm really happy that you have some friends, because she's always kind of been like alone, like not really having like a really good group of friends. And so before I met all those people and all that stuff, I was like, yeah, it's so cool. You actually have friends. This was the fucking friend group. Sorry. Slow down, Colby.
Lori's house, where was that at?
These nut
She was in
jobs.
Rexburg.
Did you get invited to come?
Yes.
And were you in Idaho for any other reason at that point?
We had just moved my son up to Pocatello, Idaho. So I was coming up to see them, and I was coming up for the Book of Mormon Evidence Conference. And then, and Melanie and Lori had been wanting to do a podcast. And so I just kind of made a weekend of it. And my plan was to stay in a hotel in Idaho Falls, to be in between both places. But
Idaho Falls is way
Melanie
closer.
invited me and said, Lori said, stay here. Don't need to put money in a hotel. We got an extra room for you. So,
And that was in reference to Lori's place?
mhm.
Is that a yes for the record?
Yes.
And
Say yes for
can you
the
describe Lori's place that you went and stayed at, so the jury has an understanding of the layout?
It was, when you walked in, there was a living room and a kitchen, just one room, and then a stairs on the right that went up to the bedrooms and bathrooms.
And when you arrived, who do you recall being at her apartment?
Lori and Alex and Melanie.
What about children?
You
Were
got
there
to be
children
more
there?
specific with which
JJ.
Did you have any occasion to interact with JJ when you arrived there?
Yes, I tried a couple of times. He was sitting on the couch playing games, and so I tried to just get to know him a little bit, but he was pretty into his game.
No, he
did
was
he respond?
traumatized out of his mind and probably couldn't process what he was going through. He'd already been through so much at that point. And Lori used his calm down whatever. I don't know what he was taking. He had a medication that would help him, like, because he was so hyperactive, but also she would take it and it was kind of like a downer. So when he was on that, he was just like such a different kid, and I hated that. I hated the way that it made him look and feel, because he just didn't look normal anymore.
Do you then, or?
No.
And do you have any special needs children yourself, Mr. Warwick?
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
I have a Down syndrome boy
Object. What's the
with
relevance of
autism.
this?
Hold on. There's a
Oh,
pending
sorry.
objection. I haven't ruled. It's
Relevance.
Judge, may I argue?
sustained. No, it's sustained, Mr. Wixom.
Okay. Did you have any further interaction with JJ at that point?
Just one more time. He was he had a box and he was cutting windows and doors in it, making a little toy house out of a cardboard box.
Did you try to talk to him on that occasion?
I did.
Any interaction with him then?
No.
Why does that make me so sad?
I think you already mentioned Chad was at this meeting or gathering.
He showed up at least 2 or 3 times. He
There you
was
go.
kind of in and out.
So here, look how clear he is. Like, it's a world of difference between him and Melanie. A world of difference.
Recall, what span of time were you staying at Lori's apartment on this occasion?
Friday night through Monday morning.
So roughly 3 days?
Yes.
So when you said that Chad was in and out, approximately how many times was Chad coming over that you recall?
I can recall twice for sure. It may have been a third time, but it's
When he came, how long would he stay?
maybe a half hour to an hour. It was never long.
Did you have any conversations with Chad while he was there?
Yes, I did.
And Judge, could I have some foundation as to when these meetings supposedly took place?
Wixom.
Certainly. When do you recall, the best you can, by month and year, that you were at Lori's house on this occasion?
Sorry, repeat the question.
Best you can remember, can you let the jury know what month and year were you at Lori's house on this occasion?
So September 2019.
And so, back to the question about Chad. What do you remember talking to Chad about when he first?
Judge, again, I'm going to renew my foundation. We don't know which day of the week we're talking about, since this was a 4-day weekend.
Well, I think that's more appropriate for cross, so
Okay.
it is vague, but Mr. Wixom, you can continue.
Thank you.
Appropriate for cross, so
Okay.
it is vague,
was
but
that?
Mr. Wixom, you can continue.
Thank you. When's the first time over the course of the weekend that you can remember that Chad came over? Do you remember what day of that weekend it was?
It was the weekend, September 20 to 23, or 19 to 23, or 19 to 22, I mean. Whatever that weekend was, I just remember I remember the 23rd, so,
This has been 5 years ago.
yeah.
Do you remember, you said earlier that you were there from Friday to roughly Monday morning.
Yeah.
Do you remember which day of that weekend that you first recalled Chad coming over?
Tough question. I wouldn't remember something that clear.
Saturday.
So when Chad came over, explain to the jury what, if any, conversation that you had with him at that time.
They talked about, anyway, that's when I'm trying to remember what the reason was coming over. I don't remember the intent for the reason, but we talked about, that's when I learned about more of their relationship,
What did you learn?
that they had been together in past lives and that they had a mission to do together.
Did they explain at that time what that mission was together?
Yes,
What was it?
they gathered the 144,000.
Did they discuss any more about their personal religious beliefs along that vein?
They just talked about
It's on 1.25 speed, so we are clear.
terrestrial
Would you like to
buildings
hear it
are
normal?
on this earth that they can
Rufus?
see.
Normal.
And
What did you understand that to mean? Did you say terrestrial or
Yeah.
terrestrial?
terrestrial.
What did you understand that to mean?
Just what it says.
Did they explain what they thought that meant?
They just said we want you to come over and we'll show it to you. So
Oh, shoot.
anyway,
Come over where?
it was at some park next to a church.
So did you leave the apartment and go with them?
Well, we didn't go, we just went over there and met with them there.
So you left the apartment and met them at the park?
Yes.
Who did you meet at the park?
So let me just give some context here. So you go to someone's house. Okay. You're now dating their best friend. You go to their house. You've known the dude for years, since 2012. It is now 2019. You know he's married and you know he has kids. He's coming over and telling you, and they're affectionate with Lori. She's leaning on him, touching him, and they're talking about how they're meant to be together and they're meant to lead the 144,000. They've been married in past lives. And you're dating the best friend. Like that, a lot of this just feels weird. Something about this is just off. And I'm just trying to get, like, there's no way you didn't have more context because you were in those groups and you were with Melanie and you married her. So obviously, like, something about this is really, really weird. Something's really weird.
Chad and Lori and Melanie.
And Judge, could I have some foundation as to the date or the day of the week at the time that this took place?
Mr. Wixom, it's vague. I'll overrule the objection, but it's up to you.
Do you remember which day of the weekend specifically that you would have gone to meet them at the park?
Sunday.
When you got to the park, what happened?
We just walked around the park and they described the building.
What did they describe?
About a 2-story building made of stone and arches, and that's about all I can recall.
You don't recall any specifics about the significance of the building or anything like that?
I don't.
Could you see a building the same place they were saying it was located?
No.
What did you see?
A beautiful park.
Did you perceive in any way, for your own observation, whether or not you thought Chad and Lori thought this building was there?
No.
No, you didn't perceive it?
No, I didn't perceive that. I didn't perceive that they were seeing the building. Is that what you mean?
That's my question, yes.
I'm sorry. Honestly,
Judge, non-responsive.
sorry.
Sorry.
Sir, could you tell if Chad and Lori thought the building was there?
They talked like they did, but I didn't feel any truth in it.
They
Did they give you
it
any
was
reason
there,
why
like,
they were telling you
spiritually?
about this or trying to show you this
That's
building?
confusing. I'm confused. I'm confused with the question. The building is not real. They're talking about it being built, and so you're saying they see it right now? I'm confused.
And no, there was never really any reason explained. I think they were just trying to get my confidence,
What do you mean by that?
Your confidence.
get me familiar with what they were doing, and
What was your perception about why they were trying to get you familiar with what they were doing?
my perception was, at the time, I honestly didn't know what to expect. I was just kind of following along, but as I felt like they were just trying for me to be familiar with them and what they have and their gifts, so that I can be confident or more. I'm not sure if I'm coming up with the right word. More of an assurance that what they were doing is true. Kind of like trying to witness what they have.
Imagine going to a freaking field and you look out and they start describing absolutely nothing that's there. There's a big building. It's made of stone. There's arches. There's a water fountain, all that stuff. And you're supposed to witness for this made up building that doesn't exist. Okay.
Prior to walking around this park at any time on Friday or Saturday, had you expressed anything back to Chad about any of these teachings or beliefs that were being discussed?
I just talked to him about Satan and the evil spirits. They don't have that power. It's not going to be given them, and that
would be weird though if David was super like against their belief system. It'd be weird for him to marry Melanie Gibb. And I only say that because obviously that's confusing to me, that you would be with someone who clearly did believe all that, because Lori and Chad themselves said, with someone who knows as much as you do, Melanie, no, they're surprised you would turn because now you're accountable for all the things you do know, which means Melanie was in as deep as you can go. And for him to be so against that, but also marry someone with such an opposite view belief is weird to me.
and that the gathering of 144,000, that would be done by the prophet or somebody called under his authority.
Would it be fair to say that you'd explain to them that you weren't really accepting these beliefs?
Yeah.
Now, during this weekend, at any time, did you observe anything about Chad and Lori's interaction with each other that gave you any clues about the relationship?
They were more affectionate.
In what regard?
He walked up behind her and put his arms around her.
Red flags, David. Red flags.
Anything else?
I think there was a kiss on the cheek. There was some head rubbing.
What the hell's a head rub? Like a dog? Like she patted his head or he rubbed her head? What the is going on?
Anything about that aspect of their relationship that bothered you that weekend?
Yes.
What was it that bothered you?
That he was still married to Tammy.
Did you ever confront him about that?
Yes.
What did you say to him?
I just asked him about his marriage to Tammy. If she was, was she happy? Was he happy with her? Was she a good wife? Was she a good mother?
How'd he respond?
He said, yes, she was very good. And he said that she was good.
Anything else in that conversation specifically?
Well, he said that Lori was going to be his next wife. They'd been married before and they're going to fulfill this mission together, and that he had a dream that Tammy was going to be passing by the time he was 50 or 51.
Did you have
How
anything
old is this motherfricker?
further that you said to him about that?
And who says that about? Oh my gosh, bro! I've gone on this tangent too many times.
I just, not that I can recall. I know we talked more, but I can't recall I just felt uncomfortable that you'd have a call like that and you're still married.
Now, when you say a call like that, can you explain to the jury what you mean by a call like that?
The call that he was called to gather the 144,000.
So,
It's freaking cold in here.
did you have any interactions with Chad that you can recall on Sunday of that weekend? I'm sorry, I'll withdraw that. After you got back from the park, did you have any further interaction with Chad that weekend?
Yes.
What was that interaction?
Frick this.
He said that there was 80 acres for sale over there by his place. And I have an associate that wanted to do a development in Rexburg. And so he told me about this 80 acres that would be a good place to do it. And I just told him, I said, well, I don't have time. It's Sunday. I don't do business on Sunday, but I said, I'll go ahead and drive by it.
Oh, they needed him to be their developer and builder. See, really zoom out. What did Lori and Chad want from each person, and why did they specifically go get them? Because I wonder what Zulema did for work. I'm sure we'll hear that in her testimony.
Get any vibes, and then talk to this associate of mine down in Utah about it.
What did you mean by
80
see if
acres.
you get any vibes? What did that mean?
Just to see if it felt like a good place to do a development.
As a builder, does this happen with you sometimes? Do people come?
Yes.
And then how did that interaction end when you went over and looked at the property?
Yeah, we went over there we followed Alex over. He took us to where it was, and we just got out and we were just looking at the property and getting ready to leave. And then Chad and a guy that he was serving with in church, a realtor named Ron, they showed up.
Any more conversation with Chad while you were there at the property?
Nah, he just wanted Ron to meet me, and then Ron wanted to go over the deal, and I just said, just send me emails on it. I don't want to talk about it today.
When you were done looking at his property, did you eventually go back to Lori's apartment?
Yes.
Did you have more conversation with Chad then at the apartment?
Not that I can recall.
At any point over this weekend, did Chad ever suggest that you would have any role in this 144,000 gathering?
Yes.
When did that occur? Remember what day?
What the hell was that?
I believe that was on Saturday.
And what was that conversation?
That I was to assist him in gathering the 144,000. And that's actually when I said, well, that would be a call that would come from a prophet. And two, I knew that my life, even if that call existed, my life is not in order to be able to do something like that.
Mr. Wixom, I'm going to suggest we take our mid-afternoon break at this time, just give them time.
Certainly.
So
Skip.
we'll go ahead and try to come back on around quarter till. Thank you, Mr. Bailiff. Please be seated.
Sit down, Chad.
All right, we're back on the record on CR 22-21-1623, State of Idaho versus Chad Guy Daybell. Parties are present as well as the defense. Mr. Warwick's on the stand. I'll remind you, you're still under oath for your testimony. Mr. Wixom, continuing on direct examination. You may proceed, Mr. Wixom.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Warwick, I want to draw your attention back to that Sunday afternoon and evening after you looked at the property. When you came back, did you have any other interaction at all with JJ?
No,
Did you see him in the apartment that day?
I believe he was there Sunday afternoon when we came back.
Thinking back to the last time that you saw JJ, when was it that day? What time of day was it?
It was probably about 10:30 at night.
And what do you recall seeing him doing when you last saw him?
Alex came in the front door and JJ had JJ in his arms and he carried him upstairs and put him to bed. And JJ, was asleep. So
Now, at some point in that evening, did you do a podcast?
yeah, we did that Sunday night.
About what time of night, best you can recall?
And we started like 7:30 and we were just finishing it up when Alex brought JJ home.
And who all was at the podcast and participating?
Melanie and Lori and myself.
Was Chad there at that time?
No,
And where in the apartment did you do the podcast?
in Lori's kitchen.
So was the podcast happening before you saw Alex bring JJ in and take him upstairs?
Yes,
And then you slept in that apartment that night, correct?
yes.
About what time did you go to bed?
Probably 11 o'clock. Eleven thirty, right in there.
To the best that you understood, who else was at the apartment that night?
Lori and Melanie, JJ and myself.
I don't think I asked this before, but at any point during the weekend, did you ever see Tylee at the apartment?
No,
Ever see her around anywhere?
no.
When you got up the next morning, did you have any more interactions with Lori?
Yes.
And what were those interactions?
Frick.
We came downstairs.
Sorry, guys. It always mutes. It's because there's two mixers on here. What I said was there's no way that he's asleep. There's no way that, and that makes even less sense because it would be even more clear that he was awake. I mean, that he wasn't awake, that Alex would have him asleep. And that's just even, the whole thing it haunts me. It does.
I came downstairs getting ready to leave for Pocatello. So I just went to say goodbye to Lori and JJ. And Lori was in the kitchen and she was a little dramatic. And I just said, well, we're leaving. I'd like to say goodbye to JJ. And she said, oh, he was out of control. And I had to have Alex come and get him.
So, Mr. Warwick, other
That would never happen. That would never happen.
than what she said, you just used the word dramatic. What did you mean by that?
She just seemed really talking fast and nervous. Just kind of, when I meant by dramatic, she explained that he climbed up on the cabinets in the fridge and got on top of the upper cabinets, and it just her explanation of how JJ was acting was what I would say was dramatic.
Was it different than your other interactions with Lori?
Yeah.
Did she say anything else about him climbing up on the cabinets, JJ?
No, she had a picture of Christ on the upper cabinet, and he said that he went up there and pushed that down.
Now,
Even if that were true, and I'm just gonna, this is no disrespect to anybody here. Okay. Just know I love you. Personal opinion here. But we don't know exactly what Jesus looked like. and I'm not saying that we should defame things that represent Jesus, but to be upset, even if that story were true that JJ did that, he's a 7-year-old child with autism. Get over yourself. That doesn't make him a demon. So even if that were true, which I don't think it is at all, because this is her excuse for how she could possibly pass it off for herself. At the end of the day, it's a fictional picture of Jesus because we don't know what he looks like. It just is what it is.
Did that seem accurate to you, her account of what had happened with JJ climbing on the cabinets?
No,
Why not?
because I didn't see any broken parts on the cabinet. I didn't see any scuffs on the fridge. And the crown on the top, if he would have got up there, that crown would have just pulled off.
Is cabinet crowning something you're familiar with as a builder?
Yes.
Did you get a close observation of the crown on the cabinet then?
Yeah.
Did you say anything about this to Lori?
No, I just said, well, she said that he was having a possession attack. And so I said, well, I'd really like to see him. And she said, no, Alex has got him and he's taking care of him.
When she said he's having a possession attack, did
Right.
he,
Okay. So let's go back to my interview with her, right? Her claim being she walked in on Tylee and JJ. Tylee's nowhere to be found. Right? She really thought I'd buy, like, I didn't even need to know every single thing. But here right now, like, getting the details to fill in the gaps is so ridiculous. Like, she must really think that she was smooth enough to pass that off. That she walked in and found Tylee and JJ like that. Even though Tylee was nowhere to be found. Ever by anybody who saw her on the account, because we already know what happened. And now we're talking about what happened with JJ. Completely separate event. Stupid ass.
say anything else about that aspect of it?
No, she just said she just couldn't handle it.
I hope Lori and I mean this. I hope Lori was shitting her pants every day. I hope she had anxiety attacks. I hope she knew that freaking Ray and all of them were after. I hope she felt that because she deserved to feel that fear. I hope she did because all of them are so sick. I hope they all felt that fire coming behind their butts. I hope it.
You know, can I have just one moment, please?
Yes.
You know, I don't believe I have any more questions at this time.
All right, thank you, Mr.
Gosh, here
Wilson.
we go.
Mr. Pryor, cross-examination.
Damn it. Here we go. By the way, I did not know, I told Kelsey yesterday, I did not know how many conversations about Melanie Gibb or how many times Melanie Gibb came up in my testimony. This dude's obsessed with Melanie. Like, Pryor is obsessed with Melanie. So this is going to be a big blame shift right here. And I like how Pryor belittles the affair. Like it's just not a big deal. You know what, Emmy? You're right. Get the swear jar ready. I can't hold it sometimes with this stuff. And it's just the
Good afternoon.
no.
Mr. Warwick, you previously mentioned that you were married to Melanie Gibb.
Yes,
Here we go.
Okay, what was the date of the marriage?
December 10th, 2020.
Oh yeah, they got married after.
Close in around the time of all of these occurrences. Would that be fair?
Yes. Well, a year later, I guess.
Okay. And when did you first meet Miss Gibb?
Oh no, that's not. 2020.
At a conference that at UVU.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to remember the date.
That's okay. Just take your time. We're not in a hurry.
Okay.
I'm in a hurry.
Met her at a conference. I think it was I don't remember the year. It's probably 2000.
Tomorrow's their anniversary.
2012 or 2013 or 14, somewhere in there.
Okay.
I'll keep my mouth
And then
shut.
approximately when did the two of you start dating?
We started in August of 2019.
Now, at the time, you had mentioned that it sort of offended you that Mr. Daybell was married and was seeing someone, even though he was still legally married, right?
Oh shit.
Well, in relation
David's going down because this is about to pop.
to the things that they were, like the beliefs that they were, like, didn't match up.
The beliefs didn't match up.
What they were saying they were doing about their calling, and then seeing each other,
Okay.
didn't match up. That's,
Inconsistent. He was-
yeah, it's
he was
just,
having- I'm sorry.
yeah, no, I'm done. Sorry,
No, please go ahead.
I'm done.
Okay. So what he was preaching wasn't consistent with the way he was acting. Is that what you were saying?
Yes.
Okay, but at the time you started dating Miss Gibb, you were still married too, weren't you?
Yeah, my divorce was just getting finalized.
But you started dating her while you were still legally married, weren't you?
Well, I made the mistake. I thought I was doing the 30-day waiver
Okay.
on, for the time.
Mhm.
And, but I didn't understand that the judge needed another 60 days after the 30 days. And I'd already paid for two plane tickets to have some time with her in August with my son, Nicholas. And so we just went forward and went,
That's
did-
what Lori meant, is that he was not legally fully divorced yet. Like that's even, let's just put it this way. Okay. And I'm not advocating for anybody or anything like that. Let's just go for it. Okay. If you cheat with a spouse that's alive and you know you're cheating and you have a second phone, it's not really the same situation where you're literally processing a divorce. It's almost over and it's already filed and paid for everything. That's just not the same realm. So it's really not the same place.
those two things for August.
So in other words, you traveled. So when you met her in August of 2019, you were already planning on going on a vacation with her. Is that right?
What a big
No, not a vacation.
What was it?
One was the Zion. It was called the Zion's Camp. It's a kind of educational camp,
Okay.
and I wanted to see how she would do with my son Nicholas.
Okay. And
'Cause I was taking care of my son Nicholas. That was the whole reason for the divorce, because my wife at the time, it was too much. We had him with us for several weeks, and so I don't have time. I don't know how much time you want for the details, but that was the whole motivation. Was
you divorced your wife because she wasn't taking proper care of your son Nicholas, and it's all about Nicholas, right?
no,
man.
we mutually agreed.
Okay.
We did not want a
Douche.
divorce, but
I-
but we needed to get Nicholas out of the home that he was in because he was suffering some abuses there.
Okay.
If you'd like to go into more, I'd be happy to.
We don't have to.
That's
I-
not
I
fair. Don't make
I
him do
know.
that.
I
No,
didn't want to
that's effed up. That's nothing to do with the situation.
this
Okay.
much, but I just wanted to clarify a few things that were of a concern. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Now,
Don't thank him, David. Don't thank him.
I do want to talk a little bit about an organization called the Seven Gatherers. You're familiar with that, right?
No, I'm not.
Okay. And to your knowledge, your wife isn't a member of the Seven Gatherers, right?
I don't know anything about Seven Gatherers.
Okay. Thank you.
Which wife? What? Wait, Melanie? Current wife.
Now, both of you go to various camps and conferences and meetings
Mm-hmm.
and speak about religious subjects. Is that fair?
Yes,
Why is it
And
fair?
both of you have I don't want to use the term expertise, a knowledge of certain areas of religious beliefs. Would that be fair?
yes.
And your particular area of knowledge is in what?
It's about, it was the conversion, my conversion to Christ and his church, and the gifts and dreams and visions that came afterwards.
Okay. So when we talk about that, let's cut this down a little bit to really so these folks understand. It's really about, you go to these camps in rural, these fireside chats is what they're talking about, or mentioned as, correct? Fireside chats?
Yes, I would be a speaker at the fireside, one of the firesides at the camp.
And the subject that you would discuss would be
By the
visions.
way,
that
just so we're clear, a fireside is literally people sitting at a fire having a conversation. You can classify that with 3 people, 100, a million. There's no classification. That's what I'm trying to say by just so you guys have context, that it sounds like these groups were not these big groups of people. They're just whoever shows up to these camps, which I'm wondering how they got the word out. Like, was there a Facebook group? How the hell did you all get connected into this, like, to each other? Like the Julie Rowe and Chad, like, how did this all come together? I don't know. That's where I would like to know information.
you have that you would want to translate to them and talk to these people at these fireside chats about these various visions and experiences, premonitions that you have.
No, it was about my conversion and the faith, and then the fruits of that faith.
Oh, you've
It
never.
was to build faith. It
Oh.
was the dreams and visions were not necessarily discussed at the camps in much detail. There's many aspects to dreams and visions about many topics. So it was about, the whole purpose was to help inspire people to seek God,
Okay.
to seek His truth, in relationship with the Holy Ghost, bearing witness of that truth.
Okay. So the fact that you experience these visions and you have these visions,
What's up, guys?
that's not
What's up,
necessarily
Brandon?
what you're talking to these people about, but you do in fact have made various representations about visions that you've had over the years. Is that right?
Yes.
And some of these visions have included being invaded by foreign powers, right?
Yes.
Objection relevance, Your Honor.
Wait, well, hold on. I'm sorry. Let me slow down. I'm not gonna laugh at this guy. Are we talking about Red Dawn? What are we doing here? What invasions? What visions of invasion?
It's a late objection. It's already been answered.
I'm sorry, Judge, I missed that.
I overruled the objection because it wasn't timely.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Judge.
By the
And
way,
some
one
of
of
the
you guys said this yesterday. Are you not supposed to call him Your Honor? I just felt like you're supposed to. I don't think you're supposed to call him Judge. I thought you're supposed to say Your Honor. Everyone else calls him Your Honor.
these visions deal with religious matters as well.
Yes.
And that's something that you've gone to conferences to speak about as well, right?
And aspects.
Right.
They're just
Okay.
depending on the topics and then whatever I felt right in my heart that was allowed to be.
And really, it's your experience in your LDS faith that you're trying to communicate with these people and talk about these conversions and things that you've experienced as part of your understanding of your LDS faith. Is that-
Objection, Your Honor. Rule 610.
Judge, could we approach and have a sidebar?
Yes. All right, counsel, we are back on the record on CR
Skip that.
2221-1623. The court had a sidebar to make an evidentiary ruling outside presence of the jurors. I sustained an objection and I'll ask the jurors to disregard the previous question. Mr. Pryor, if you'd like to continue with your cross, you may.
You guys are asking
So-
if they're still married. I have no idea. No idea. This was 2024, so it's a while ago. A lot can happen in that time. We did know, but at the time of this, that they admitted that they were living in different states, different houses.
Mr. Warwick, we were on the subject of visions, and that you explained to me that these visions are only a small part of what you lecture at these fireside mountain retreats and at these conferences and at these meetings. Is that fair?
Yes.
And part of these visions is consistent with your faith, right?
Yes.
So if you were to have these various visions about certain events, that's not something that's particularly inconsistent with your faith, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And if Chad Daybell were to have visions of certain events, that's not necessarily inconsistent with his faith either, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I want to talk to you a little bit because I'm a little unclear. There's been some testimony about what vibrations are. Do you understand the term vibrations?
I understand the term, but I don't understand the context.
Okay, the context is in a religious context, that you get some sort of feedback that has a religious perspective to it. So in that context,
Dog, you aren't even making sense. Like, you have to, if you're going to ask someone a question, they say, I don't know what you're referring to. You can't just say vibrations is in a religious context. You have to give him real context to answer a question.
understand or have had familiarity with that process?
Yes.
Okay, what is that experience or knowledge that you have as it relates to vibrations?
Not understanding what you're after, Mr. Pryor.
Okay, well, in a religious context, have you participated in meetings or gatherings that dealt with the subject of vibrations?
No.
You haven't.
No.
Has your wife gone on seminars and spoke about while you were there about this theory and idea of vibrations?
Not that I recall.
That's some
Okay.
speculation.
All right.
And I'm sorry, I don't believe that, because Melanie, if I heard Lori say anything about vibrations in any way, shape, or form, the only thing she ever said is that her and I, this was during a haircut, by the way. I don't even know when this was, but I was at the house that I got married to Kelsey, and she just simply said, you and I are very similar, and we have very, like, we kind of go together like a wave, like our waves are similar. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Stupid ass shit. Our waves go like this. We're both doing this at the same time, like a roller coaster. I'm not going to get into it. You guys, someone got upset last time that we were talking about the vibrations. Look, you, whatever. My point being, he's not even clearing it up. He's not even clearing up what he means. So it's really hard to listen to it because I'm just cringing.
Then what is your wife's been, as well, has been called to a number of places to speak as well as a guest at a number of places, correct?
Yes.
And she's similar topics, but hers has a little bit of a slant. What's her area of knowledge?
This is more about believing and overcoming unbelief.
Okay, and be more specific if you could.
Okay.
Like in what way? Overcoming non-belief? What do you mean?
Well, she did health. Actually, hers was more on health. The ones that I've seen, so she does foot reflexology
Okay,
and teaches about the body, and it works with the nerves through the feet.
okay, all right.
Because a lot of the speaking things that she had done, I was not involved with. A lot of that had happened before we got together.
And the items that she would talk about.
I'd never witnessed what she spoke about.
He keeps
By the way,
going.
Mr. Warwick, please don't just interject in
Sorry.
response. In the middle of anyone else talking, it's difficult for the court reporter.
And Mr. Warwick, I'm going to be guilty of that too a couple of times. So we'll try to be patient with each other. Okay.
Okay.
No, we're friends.
So when you say before you met her, she's been speaking about religious topics before you folks even met, right?
Yes.
And you guys met again when?
So hold on. Melanie was going around teaching foot reflexology and then zombies and the end of the world. How the hell did those things do not go together? Okay.
Officially, we met the end of May 2019.
Okay. But unofficially, you met well before that in what, 2012?
Yeah, she was at the line of people, and they just came up to tell me that they appreciated the talk that I gave. That was it.
And prior to May of 2019, it was she engaged in the same sort of speaking circuit. She would go to these fireside retreats and she would do these conferences well before she ever met Chad Daybell, right?
Yeah, but she wasn't, from my understanding, she was not a speaker for years. She just they organized some podcast. I can't remember the name of it right now. Anyway, and that's what they were mainly doing, was podcast. I never recall.
No, that's the thing. Brandon, Melanie Gibb was still married with her family in Christmas. So no, I've never met David. Like, I didn't know this or this many people, bro. I didn't know it was like this whole group. Like, it just goes so deep, and I did not know there's more people involved in this stupid stuff.
Ever seen her speak at any of these events?
Ray.
So she would organize these events and she would sort of gather these people and bring the groups together to talk about these various religious subjects, right?
Religious and health and child, raising children. It was multiple things that
Raising children. Oh my word. I'm going to bite my tongue on that.
that she's been doing.
Which one of you talked at these preparedness camps about and you know what I'm talking about, these preparedness camps that you would go up to, right?
What?
And what exactly were they preparing for?
Oh, they just basically teaching you how to different ways to be self-reliant through growing food, have energy, and it was any topic to be prepared.
Not one of you fucking people were qualified to teach this. Which one of you knew how to survive in the apocalypse? Not a single one. I would trust Rick Grimes over your ass any day. Come on now. None of you are qualified to be teaching people how to survive.
So that, when tribulations, you're able to, provide and be able to do better serve.
What?
There's all kinds of things about how to cook and how to set up camps, all kinds of.
You weren't teaching about cooking, right?
What's that?
You weren't teaching about cooking, right?
Nope.
You weren't teaching.
I didn't teach. I just gave a fireside. I shared my story of my conversion.
And your visions to some extent.
To some extent, there'll be some that would come up, but not much on a camp like that.
About some of the
That's
things.
another thing. We could get into this debate any day. People who think they'd survive the end of the world are so high on themselves. Like, the reality of surviving, not knowing what would happen. Come on. be honest with yourself. This is not a group that would survive long.
You predicted that would happen in the future, right?
That is
Not
huge.
that I predict, not what I was shown.
Oh, I'm sorry. I made a mistake.
Yeah, just, it's not me.
Yeah, right. It's not you that are
That's too good, Christina.
making these. They aren't predictions. They're, and please forgive me. You put the right word on it. They're premonitions about things that you saw that you believe you need to share with other people. Is that fair?
No,
They're visions of things that you see that are brought to you some way and that you believe are things that would occur in the future. Would that be fair?
yes,
Okay. Now, you've heard the term light and dark. Are you familiar with those terms?
yes,
Light and dark, would you agree with me that the term light and dark are synonymous with the words good and evil?
yeah, yes,
They could be interchanged.
good, yes,
And it just depends really on your how you're brought up, what terms your family's using. Would you agree with that?
yes,
Some families will say, this is good and this is evil. Other families would say, this is light and this is dark. Would you agree with that?
I've never heard the light and dark explained that way. I've always heard that, no, they just say this is good and evil.
Okay.
I've never heard explained the way you just said it.
Okay. But you've heard the terms light and dark.
Mhm.
And the light and dark term is in at least your faith is referenced a number of times in your faith.
Yes,
We can go back and show you well, you're aware of that, right?
yes,
So condescending.
So that's not a foreign term to you, the term light and dark, right?
right.
Okay. That's part of your faith, right?
It's part of life.
Right. All right. Well,
I wasn't raised, I didn't have faith, and I knew about light and dark way before faith.
okay. And Mr. Daybell and you share at least the same faith generally in the beginning, right?
Yes,
And Mr. Daybell would be familiar with the term light and dark. He's spoken to you about that, right?
yes,
Okay. But the area that I'm confused is the area called portals. Have you heard that term?
yes.
Okay. And was teaching about dark portals, was that something your wife would ever do?
I don't know. I never heard her teach.
Okay. So you don't know if she's teaching anybody about a dark portal or a light portal or any kind of portal, right?
Right.
That's just confusing. I don't know. I mean, it's. How would you not know at all? How would you not know at all what your wife thinks and believes? Especially hearing this off stuff, knowing they're in the same group. It's just, there's something really weird about that.
Judge, this might be a place where we can gather up again. It's up to the court. I can either go on or whatever the court prefers.
All right, I know it feels like we've had breaks today, but I'm pretty committed to keeping our jurors on the schedule that we've determined. So we are going to take our break for the day. We'll conclude and continue on.
We just
Prior
go
then, if
on.
you'd like to continue with cross,
See
we
what I'm saying?
can.
Every time, every day they switch out who gets this bottom and who gets on the top.
Commence this morning. Thank you, Judge.
Good morning.
Morning.
So just so everybody knows, this is the next day.
Before, I guess where I'd like to start, Mr. Warwick, is did you have an opportunity either yesterday or today to talk to the prosecuting attorney about your testimony?
No,
Prior to testifying in this proceeding, did you have an occasion to talk to the prosecutor at any time about your testimony?
no,
Do you recall testifying in a preliminary hearing in August of 2020?
yes,
Okay. Subsequent to that, did you have an occasion to communicate either directly or through your wife with the prosecuting attorney about the manner and the substance of any of your testimony?
no,
Did you have an occasion to exchange an affidavit or a document between you and your wife and the prosecutor and the police?
I don't recall that.
Okay. Is it possible that the prosecuting attorney or law enforcement showed you an affidavit of facts and had you go over that for accuracy?
Yes,
Okay, so you did go over an affidavit, correct?
I don't know if it was an affidavit, but
It was a document.
yeah,
And in that document, it detailed the facts of this particular case and what you would be testifying about, correct?
yes,
To the point, brother.
Okay, and then there were some revisions to those documents. In other words, you would make suggestions and send them back to the prosecuting attorney, and then they would send it back, and there was a little bit of a back and forth. Do you recall that?
nope,
Okay. Do Do you recall your wife bringing you an affidavit or court document saying, the prosecutor would like you to take a look at this and see if this accurately reflects what your testimony is going to be?
No, I don't.
But you do recall going over an affidavit that that was prepared by the prosecuting attorney for your review, correct?
I'm about to skip.
And then at that point, you were to return it either through your wife or direct something you said originally. You talked and you used a couple of adjectives to describe Chad. And I
Here
don't
we
want to
go. Finally.
put words in your mouth, but I think one of them you said was quiet.
Yes,
Saw that yesterday. I don't recall if you used the words humble. Was that one of them, humble?
No.
the words I used is, he was kind and, yeah,
Soft.
he was meek and humble. I've never seen,
Soft as a freaking wet damn hot dog. Okay? Soft.
anything different.
Okay.
No
throughout
calluses on his hands. He freaking can't put his jeans on right. Can't take a shit the right way. Can't piss right. Soft. Charmin soft.
All of your interactions with Mr. Daybell, that's the way you found him. You found him as a very meek person, correct?
Correct.
You found him as a very humble person, right?
Yes,
You found him as a very quiet person. Is that correct?
correct.
Okay. And deeply religious.
Deeply
Yes.
disturbed.
And you may not have agreed with all of his religious beliefs, correct?
Correct.
And he would not necessarily believe with all of your religious beliefs. Would that be
Softer than
Yes.
two hot dogs together.
fair? Okay. But you respected each other for having your respective religious beliefs. Would that be fair?
Yes.
Now, I talked to you a little bit about visions and about vibrations. I want to talk to you a little bit about seances. Do you understand the term seance?
I do.
Okay. Now, did you or with your wife or knowledge of your wife ever participate in a seance?
No,
Okay. Do you have any knowledge as to whether or not your wife participated in a
Well,
seance?
she
I
did.
do not.
Okay. And I previously asked you about the 7 gatherers, but I'm going to ask you again. You have no knowledge
So
whatsoever.
you're telling me, let's just be like super, super clear here. You're telling me your spouse never talked about their spiritual life when this is like they're all in? You guys never discussed this stuff together. There's something about that just feels absolutely unbelievable. She never brought it up ever. She talked just as much as Lori. They just vomit words. So there's no way. There's just no way.
of what the 7 gatherers are. Is that right?
Asked and answered, Honor.
Overruled.
You have no knowledge of what the 7 gatherers are. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. Now, you testified in a preliminary hearing. I believe it was in August of 2020. You recall that?
yes.
What was the date of your marriage again?
December 10th, 2020.
It was December 12th, 2020.
Come on. Hey, come on. You don't even know when you got married. Come on. It's your wedding day. You don't know?
Okay. So you testified in a preliminary hearing about 4 months before you got married. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay. Now, we had your wife on previously, and she talked about the fact that you live in a different state than she is. Is that right?
yes,
And she lives somewhere in Arizona. We don't need to say where. And you live somewhere in Utah. Is that correct?
correct.
And how long have you folks lived separately?
Why is this relevant? That's just kind of rude.
Probably about 2 years now.
Okay. And how long did you actually live together?
Overruled.
How long did you live together?
Several months.
Meaning 2 or 3 months?
No, it was a little longer than that.
How much longer?
I don't recall.
Okay. Would it be as much as 8 or 9 months?
It could have been.
Okay.
Don't do it.
But
Don't
several
turn into
months.
her.
Okay.
Don't say it could have been and start letting him walk you like a dog, please.
Now, isn't it true that the reason you got married is because you were trying to avoid having to be forced to testify against each other in a criminal proceeding?
No,
I want to go over with you again some of your testimony with the prosecuting attorney. You made mention of a timeline. You said you went to a park during one of the days. I think you came in on a Friday, right?
Friday night,
But you don't remember about what time.
I would think about 7:30.
Okay. And then you said that you saw Chad several times over the weekend. Is that right?
Yes,
How many times?
I would say more like a few times. Like I would say 3 or 4 that
Okay.
I can actually recall.
Okay, and one of them you described as being in a park on a Saturday. Is that right?
I think, no, that was on Sunday.
That was on Sunday.
Mhm.
Okay. Did you see Chad on Saturday?
Yes.
When did you see him on Saturday? What time?
Oh my gosh.
I would say it was late morning or early afternoon.
Okay. Okay.
Relevance?
And what was the purpose? That was the time when you folks had that discussion about Tammy and some of the other items that you talked about. Is that right?
Yes.
That was the significant discussion where the vast majority of what you spoke to Chad about took place on that Saturday. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you didn't see Chad on Friday. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. And then you got up on Saturday and in one report to the police, you mentioned that you slept in Saturday and then ate breakfast at Lori's condo. Do you remember telling law enforcement that?
I don't.
Okay. Do you dispute the fact that maybe you slept in and ate breakfast on Saturday morning?
No, I just don't remember.
Okay. And then what you did is you guys got prepared and went to a seminar called the Firm Foundation Saturday, right after.
I think Saturdays. So the day that they said that the 22nd, whatever day they saw that with JJ never came back. So if they had all day Saturday and Sunday, or is it Saturday night?
You got done eating breakfast. Remember that?
Yes.
Okay. And according to your daughter, excuse me, your wife's testimony,
Your daughter.
you spent the better part of the day and the evening at the Firm Foundation. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. So my question is this, is that if you were at this Firm Foundation all day and into the evening late, how is it that you met with Chad in the apartment on Saturday?
Because we were not at the whole event.
Okay.
We didn't attend the whole event.
And if your
Oh,
wife
it's
said,
not possible that they could have had a conversation at 7 o'clock at night. The fuck?
you did attend the whole events and that she took pictures for over 9 or 10 hours, that's something she's mistaken about, right?
If she did, yes.
Okay. And you left the event during this event and came back, went to Lori's to eat. Is that right?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Would you
All
say,
right.
ask it?
So you also don't remember talking to Chad on Saturday, do you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right.
Stupid. It's so stupid. What
And
a
then when you got
walk
back
for
from the
nothing.
convention late, you folks decided that you would consider starting your podcast. Is that right?
No,
Oh, you didn't have an equipment failure of your podcast on Saturday evening?
no.
Okay. And then you, again, expressed to law enforcement that you slept in Sunday morning, right?
I don't recall.
Okay. And did you see Chad at all on Sunday?
Yes.
When did you see him?
He's just, so what he's trying to do right now, this is the only thing I can think of, is that he's trying to make him repeat and see if he contradicts himself, because he's going to keep going back. Did you see Chad Saturday or Sunday? Saturday or Sunday? All just to see if he says no or yes, so he looks like he doesn't know what he's talking about. That's it. That's all he's got.
At the park.
Which park is that? Do you know?
I just know it was at Rexburg.
Okay. About what time was that?
See? Nothing.
I would say late morning,
Late morning.
if I'm recalling correctly.
Okay. Late morning, you saw Chad on Sunday. Do you recall meeting out at a 80 acres piece of land late Sunday afternoon?
Yes.
Okay. And you were there with Lori,
No, Lori wasn't there.
Alex,
Alex
Melanie.
and Melanie.
Okay. And
Which Melanie?
nobody else was there, right?
Gibb?
JJ wasn't there.
Who? Who'd you say?
JJ.
No.
And when you met with Chad at the park on Sunday, how long of a meeting was that?
I would say half hour.
Okay. Did he just come right over and say, let's go out to a park, or was there another purpose behind that?
No, they wanted us to come over to the park.
Okay. Who's they wanted?
Chad and Lori.
Okay. So Chad showed up in the park, or did he come over to the condo and then you all went over to the park together Sunday morning?
I really don't
Who
remember.
cares? This is, oh my gosh.
Okay. Okay. But then later on in the afternoon, you met a realtor by the name of Ron Arnold at a piece of 80 acre piece of property, right?
Yes, yes, he showed up later.
Well, he showed up with Chad later, did he not?
Yes, he did.
And what I find interesting is that you had noted in previous reports that he showed up with Chad and Chad was wearing his church clothes. Do you
Oh, hold on. There's an objection. Can you repeat that into the microphone, Mr. Wixom?
Yes, Judge, that was argumentative, at least the first portion of the question or statement.
Overruled.
Chad showed up at that meeting on the land in the 80 acres with Ron Arnold, and he was wearing his church clothes, right?
That's right.
So he had gone to church that morning.
Yes.
So how is it that he met with you if he was at church in the morning?
Well, this was the afternoon.
No, I'm talking about the park.
Well, this was after the park.
Well, that's what I mean. He showed up at the.
He was serving in his calling, and him and Ron were serving together, and they came over. And I did not know they were coming over because I said I do not want to do any business on Sunday.
Well, I think you're missing my point, and I'll try to be a little clearer.
I
Okay.
appreciate that.
All right. You're welcome. What I don't understand is that if Chad was at church, engaged in church activity Sunday morning, and engaged in this calling Sunday, how is it that he met you, Lori, and Melanie at a park on that very same Sunday?
Holy shit.
I don't know that he was at church Sunday
Is
morning.
it that hard that he could have had church at 8 o'clock and shown up around 11? Is it that hard to believe it?
Okay. Well, isn't it true that you told the investigators that he was showing up in church clothes with another gentleman who's a real estate agent?
It was in the afternoon, yes.
Right. And isn't it true they told you that they just came over from attending church?
No,
Okay. And if Mr. Arnold were to get on the stand and say that's exactly what he told you, would that be an inaccurate statement by Mr. Arnold?
well, they were attending their calling, so in a way they're attending church, but it wasn't the services.
Okay. So these visits that you claim you had with Chad were on Saturday when you were at a convention, is that right? Did you happen to just take a break from a 10-hour convention that you were with your wife, right? To visit with Chad.
On Saturday? Now
Is
we're
that
back
right,
to
on
Saturday?
I'm trying to recall what time we saw Chad on, what time I saw Chad on Saturday.
Oh, so possibly it could change now, is that right?
Well, no, I just don't remember. I just know that I was not at the whole conference.
Okay.
I didn't attend the whole conference, so
I think back then, I don't know when the rule change was, but I'm pretty sure up until 2020, church was 3 hours. So you do sacrament for an hour, meetings for an hour, and another meeting thing after that. So you have 3 hours of church. So even then, even if you had 8 o'clock church, you'd still be done before 11. So you would be able to meet in the mid-morning afternoon in your clothes. I don't know. He's just trying to make a hole.
Sir, isn't it true you didn't see Chad on Friday?
Yep.
yes, it's true. I did not see him on Friday.
And isn't it true you didn't see him on Saturday?
No.
No, that's not true.
And isn't it true, sir, that on Sunday, the only time you saw him is when he went out to an 80 acres with a couple of other witnesses, and that's the only contact at all you had with Chad Daybell over that weekend?
Objection, argumentative.
not
Your
true.
Honor.
I have
Hold on.
nothing else.
Hold.
Oh, shit.
Stop. All right, Mr. Pryor, Ms. Warwick. I'm sustaining that objection.
Look at
Conference.
this. Listen to this.
Okay.
I didn't attend the whole conference, so
Sir, isn't it true you didn't see Chad on Friday?
yes, it's true. I did not see him on Friday.
And isn't it true you didn't see him on Saturday?
No, that's not true.
And isn't it true, sir, that on Sunday, the only time you saw him is when he went out to an 80 acres with a couple of other witnesses, and that's the only contact at all you had with Chad Daybell over that weekend?
Objection, argumentative.
not
Your
true.
Honor.
I have
Hold on.
nothing else.
Hold. Stop. All right,
Motherfucker couldn't even wait 2 seconds.
Mr. Pryor, Ms. Warwick. I'm sustaining that objection. I'm striking the response. Mr. Pryor, next question.
I'm done, Judge. Thank you.
All right. Redirect.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh man, I was like, what the hell? How did you teleport? You see that? He was at the stand and he was
Good
coming
morning, Mr.
back.
Warwick.
Good morning.
So I want to start by covering some of the questions that you were asked initially this morning. Do you recall the defense attorney just asking you whether or not yesterday you had met with prosecutors about your testimony? Do you recall that question?
Yes,
And you answered no.
yes.
Do you recall meeting with me yesterday?
I don't. I mean, we talked to the hall, but we didn't talk about the case.
What about the day before?
Uh-oh.
No,
Let me ask this. Were there ever times that you and I, prior to you coming into court yesterday and testifying, were there times that you and I did meet and we did discuss your potential testimony?
yes.
When's the best time that you, let's try that, to the best of your
Look
recollection?
at
when
look at
did-
Pryor thinking with this neck. Look at this neck. He's like, I just ate that shit. No, you did not. Everybody, no one's impressed. No one thinks that Chad's innocent, and it's the stupidest shit I ever seen in my life.
we do that?
Probably a couple months ago.
Look at
maybe,
that
yes.
face, dog.
And
His freaking neck is Stiff. He's having a moment.
Upon your arrival to to Boise a couple of days ago, did we also meet again?
No,
You don't recall that?
I don't.
Let's move on.
this Oh man, this is rough. This is rough.
You were asked some questions by the defense about the way that you characterized Chad. Do you remember those questions?
Yes,
And I think the words quiet and kind and meek came up. Is that right?
yes,
Now, to be clear, over the last several years, you've met with law
Quiet and
enforcement a few different
meek.
times, haven't you?
yes.
Do you remember which law enforcement by any chance that you've met with?
The captions are
I
wild.
probably remember more by face than name.
Do you ever remember discussing with law enforcement your feelings about whether or not you liked Chad? Do you remember that?
About liking Chad or liking his ways.
Liking Chad.
His ways.
I'll say yes. It's vague, but I remember.
What
It's overruled. You can continue to answer.
do you remember about telling law enforcement about whether or not you liked Chad?
Well, the only thing I can recall that I was struggling with is when he approached me about doing a book, I told him that I needed time to come to understand if that was right and if it was right, and then I needed to decide who, if it was to be done. And for the next year, it was like when he reached out to me, he just didn't acknowledge the grounds that I had set, and he was kind of forward about. He was ready and wanted to go forward, like I had already agreed, and I never had. That's the only thing I can recall right now, anyway. That I think that's what you're referring to.
Is it possible that you use even more descriptive language about how you felt about Chad in that interview at that time?
Maybe it could be possible, but I'm not recalling it.
If you had an opportunity to review a police report from June of 2020, do you think it's possible that could refresh your recollection about that part of your conversation?
Yes,
Your Honor, with that, may I offer the witness a copy of the report from Detective Hermosillo from that same date?
Any objection from the defense?
Oh no, Ray. The one that Chad deemed the
All right,
Demon
there's a-
King.
Mr. Wixom, if you'll reference
You understand that?
the,
All the people they disliked, Ray came up because he was the lead detective. And so they hated him, and somehow just perfectly he was the leader of all the demons. The most powerful demon. This it's a game of absolute mayhem that's just totally made up. Anybody who was against them or was after them was horrible.
precise date of the interview and also instruct the witness that he's just to refresh recollection with that, not read it into the record, for example, or read from it.
Will do, Your Honor, certainly. So perhaps I missed, I thought I indicated that the date of the interview was June 8th of 2020 with Detective Hermosillo. If I might ask the marshal to hand this to the witness. And sir, the court's instructing you, as normal, that you're not to read this report to the jury. Just take a moment when you receive it, review it, refresh your recollection. When you're done reading it, either turn it over or offer to hand it back to the marshal, and then I'll ask questions, okay?
Give him the papers.
Microphone, please, Mr. Pryor.
Judge. Just to clarify, Judge, I didn't recall a June 8th interview with Officer Hermosillo, but I did have a recollection of a June 3rd. So counsel may want to correct his date. My recollection is it should be a June 3rd is when Officer Hermosillo interviewed Mr. Warwick from my recall.
I'm referring to the date referenced in the very report that we've just handed to defense counsel. That's the best date that I'm aware of, Judge. It's the date recorded in the report.
Okay, well, we'll go off the date listed in the report.
I feel like Chad's the type of guy who has to wipe the sweat off of his upper lip a lot. I don't know.
Judge, could I go on to your native objection when Mr. Warwick is done?
You may, once he's reviewed that report.
I don't understand what's happening. I'm
The
skipping
report to
all
read
this.
to himself.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you. Mr. Warwick, I would call your attention to page 4 of that report and invite you to read the last 2 paragraphs, please, to yourself.
I'm skipping all this silence.
At this point.
Okay, thank you. You can proceed, Mr. Wicks.
Here we go.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Warwick, having had a chance to review that paragraph, did it refresh your recollection?
yes, it did.
Would you please explain to the jury what was it that you told Detective Hermosillo in June of 2020 about Chad?
I was really angry that he called Melanie and told her not to talk to the police.
Why were you angry?
Because when someone makes a call like that, there's something wrong. And I had no idea what was going on. My mom had just I was on the phone with my mother because she just got diagnosed with cancer. And so I was on my way over to.
Judge, objection,
That's sad.
Sorry.
Hold on. What's the grounds?
relevance.
Overruled.
How's
You
that
can continue
irrelevant?
forward.
He was telling you about the. You shut the fuck up. Remember when Lori said she was going to cast Satan out by folding up like a taco and lock him in a box in Antarctica? Yes, Brandon, and that's the point. There is a lot of adults that heard this stupid shit coming out of their mouths and didn't think it was weird. I'm just saying. It's a lot of adults.
Here's the relevance. I
Here's
was
the
on the phone
relevance.
with a broken down mother trying to get to her.
That's sad. I'm not laughing at him. By the way.
Melanie's on the phone with Chad. And then when we both got off the phone, Melanie was really quiet. And I could tell she was really upset. So I just asked her, I said, what's going on? She
Judge,
said,
objection, calls for hearsay.
Yeah, this invites hearsay sustained.
Do you happen to recall anything else that you told to Detective Hermosillo in that interview about your feelings about Chad?
yes,
What else do you recall?
that he was manipulative.
Can you explain what you meant to Detective Hermosillo when you used the word
Manipulative?
manipulative?
Like he gets people's confidence, and then he uses that confidence for his favor.
He's not wrong.
So I'm going to invite you to explain to the jury and reconcile how you can your statements that Chad was kind and humble and meek, but you also think he's manipulative.
Yeah, because all my interactions with Chad were kind, humble, and meek. It was that situation that happened much later. I just wasn't in that time frame. So that's when I saw a different Chad.
Well,
What
yeah.
was that different Chad? Describe that different Chad.
To call and tell somebody, literally tell them not to take the call with a very authoritative voice.
When you said authoritative voice, did you hear him on the phone?
No, I didn't. I just, after Melanie shared with me what the call that just happened.
You were asked about the reason behind your marriage with Melanie. You remember that question from the defense counsel?
Yes.
Why is it that you married Melanie?
Why is it?
Hmm.
Because she's a wonderful, wonderful woman, and she was very good with my Down syndrome boy and with all my children, and we're very compatible in many things.
Is there any question in your mind that the two of you have a loving relationship?
No,
And in fact, it was suggested that perhaps your marriage was to avoid testifying against each other. Do you recall that?
I'm going to object.
yes,
You
I
asked
think I
that
got the
question.
objection in time, Judge.
Yes, grounds.
But it's leading.
No, it's not.
Judge, I'm just,
Overruled. You can answer.
Exactly. You asked the question.
well, would be like,
Your Honor, could we ask Madam Reporter to repeat that? I want to make sure that I did it correctly. If she'd be kind enough to do so.
You may.
You literally asked if they got married to avoid testifying in a trial.
Okay. And I'm going to repeat that for the record.
One last topic.
Approach the court.
Yes, sir.
Sidebar.
If we may, yes.
Very well.
Skip that sidebar, boy. Skip it.
You can continue, Mr. Wixon.
There we go.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Warwick, you were asked some questions by the defense about this meeting that you had with Chad whenever it occurred that weekend. Do you recall those questions?
yes,
In fact, part of those conversations involved his relationship with Tammy, his wife.
yes,
Do you recall whether or not Mr. Daybell ever indicated to you the status of Tammy's health?
yes.
What did he say?
He said that she was healthy.
And was that in relationship to let me withdraw that. Give us the context of how he explained to you that she was healthy, please.
I was asking him about his marriage, about what kind of wife and mother, and then he told me that that she was going to be passing because was given a dream or a vision that she was going to be passing. And then I asked him about her health, and he said she was healthy.
Thank you. The last couple of questions, Mr. Warwick. Without intending to be facetious, have any of your own personal visions or spiritual experiences ever led you to think that you personally have any kind of superpowers?
No,
Have they in any way caused you to feel like you have some prominent position in whatever you believe the last days events are?
no,
Have any of your visions or personal experiences ever revealed to you propriety or a way of dealing with people that you believe are possessed?
no.
These are
Your Honor, I have no
fundamental.
further questions.
That's a fundamental question you'd have to answer, though, if you are married to somebody. Like, at some point, you'd have to, I guess, in a sense, you would end up discussing, especially if you constantly discuss spiritual things. It's just really weird that wouldn't come up and you would be on the exact opposite side. I don't understand
Thank
that.
you, Mr. Wixom.
Judge, I think there's now some recross.
Briefly, Mr. Pryor.
Gosh damn, I thought we were past this. Get the frick out the way of the marshal.
So this discussion about Tammy's health, that's the same discussion that took place supposedly on the Saturday between times you were at the seminar for the Firm Foundation, right?
That would be the best of my recollection, yes.
And Chad mentioned to you during that so-called Saturday visit that Tammy would be passing sometime in the future, right?
Yes,
And you were aware that Chad had made that revelation well before he ever met Lori Vallow, right?
I heard that he had, but I'd never heard it before.
And what I'm having some difficulty with is that he's telling you that his wife is going to be passing sometime in the future, and yet he also tells you contradictory information suggesting that she's just healthy as can be, right?
I don't know if it's contradictory, but
Okay.
saying yes.
Okay. Now, the prosecutor asked you, you've never been charged with a criminal charge, is that right?
Yes,
Yeah. But the day and the evening or the morning that J.J. Vallow was murdered, you and your wife were at Lori Vallow's condominium that night, right?
yes.
Nothing else, Judge.
All right. That'll
What?
conclude testimony then of Mr. Warwick.
I would have.
Is the state intending any recall of the witness?
At this time, we would release Mr. Warwick from the state's perspective.
Mr. Pryor, would the defense have any intention to
Frick dis. What else we got? Oh, Brandon's next. The corner. Got a lot to go. We got a lot to go. It's only been a little bit. What's up, guys? Let me read your chats for a second and figure out what we're gonna do. That was ridiculous and stupid. I don't think that you can't. There's no argument here. It's so stupid, and it's grasping at straws because even with all the stuff you said, trying to make it look like it's someone else's fault, like it's everything, is ridiculous. And if I were the jury, first of all, I want to just go ahead and say I have a very deep respect and a place in my heart for everyone who is a part of these juries, and there was 4 of them, because it changes. I'm sure it changes your life, and it's hard, and you have to deal with things and be traumatized by it all. So I don't know. Watch this. We're gonna call a special guest here. Watch this. Watch this. Hold on. We're going to call a special guest. Hey, you're on speaker. Tell me what you thought about that.
I'm so sorry. I missed like the last 20 minutes.
Oh, it's okay. What did you think when you were watching it, though?
About the whole thing?
Yeah, but you know you're on speaker, right?
Yeah.
You're on live.
Oh, okay. Hi, everybody.
That's why I asked you. That's what I meant by speaker.
Oh,
What'd you think, though?
I don't know, to be honest. I've been cleaning, so I've been kind of...
Did you watch this, though?
Did I watch what?
Did you watch this in the time it was happening? I can't remember if you were watching it.
Yes,
you and
I
never
did. I watched some of it, yeah.
You watched some of it?
I watched some of it, yeah.
These are long
I watched
days.
your point. I was there for yours. I think I watched Ray's testimony.
Yeah, the beginning.
Yeah, I honestly don't remember.
Huh.
I remember I definitely watched more of your mom's in your mom's trial in 2023.
Yeah, because it was like the first thing that
Then
happened.
I watched this one, or I didn't watch hers, I guess I kept up with it.
Yeah. Well, and you knew I never thought I'd watch it ever. I was just wondering what you thought about all of that stuff. Not to put you on the spot. You don't have to say.
Honestly, I paid more attention to yesterday's and the day before's than I did today because I've been busy.
Do you feel like you're learning a lot? Because I feel like there's a lot of. Do you feel like you're learning a lot?
Yeah, I do.
Or did you hear this stuff before? Because I feel like
I've heard some of it before, yes. But I mean, I feel like I've learned some new things, or like, I guess, remembered some of these things that I forgot about before.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I just love your voice, so I just wanted you to be here, and I wish you were right next to me. I wish you were right next to me, so you give your thoughts, but the mic wouldn't be able to handle you and me talking at the same time.
No.
It couldn't handle us together. Okay.
Yeah. Is it over, or what's the deal here?
Well, Brandon's is next, and it's about an hour 40.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Which for for us, with all our pauses.
I actually didn't know that Brandon testified in this trial, so that's
I didn't know that either. But he testified in my mom's, and so.
Did he? I forget a lot.
Lori. So in Lori's, he was first. Kay was first. Like hers was very different. And remember, it was all audio.
Yeah.
So it's really different to actually see the courtroom and everything too. It's way different.
Yeah.
But yeah, he testified. I think Kay did too, right? Like I think everybody did in this one just as much. And then so.
Yeah, I don't know. I see. That's what I'm saying. Like you just forget a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Next is Brandon's, and then there's the coroner, and then there's more detectives, and then there's I know Melanie Boudreaux is on at some point. Chad's kids come on. The babysitter.
Oh, I do remember the babysitter. I remember that one.
Kay did go, by the way, as well. So there's a lot.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Well, people are wanting you to watch Audrey, or I don't know if her name's Audrey or Aubrey Bartonello or something. I have no idea how to pronounce her name. I don't even remember her name. I just know it's either Audrey or Aubrey from your mom's trial. Well, I guess from Lori's trial. I won't call her your mom.
Yeah, she's a total prick.
And they want to, right? They want to know what you think about it, because
Who is that?
Pretty weird.
Is that a friend?
She was a friend, I think, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And she testified in Lori's trial.
All right.
And she said some crazy stuff that was just weird.
Yeah. You know what's weird? We didn't even finish Lori's. You remember that? Like, we were literally midway when I had my stroke. So I don't even know how much more there was to it. We kind of just like gave up because we were in the middle of the real one, of the one happening right there. So it was like in real life happening.
And you had meningitis and all that stuff happened right at that time.
Yeah, that was wild. Anyway, okay, I love you.
Love you.
Text me back. Love you.
Love you back.
Okay, so I just wanted to get Kelsey's take. Plus, she's in the chat with you guys, so she sees stuff that I don't. So when you guys do like say certain things or comments, she's the one that kind of puts me on to like what you guys are saying, which is really nice. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We have Brandon tomorrow. What we might end up doing is going a little bit earlier. Maybe we can make it through 2 different people at once. So I'll let you know what happens with that. But we still have a lot to go. We're on video 30 out of 151, which obviously we're not watching every single video. Right now, we've even skipped some of the like just longer days. But we're going to listen to what Brandon has to say tomorrow, and then we'll keep going from there. So anyway, I love you guys. I really do appreciate you. And thank you so much for being a part of our stream. If you guys could please, yes, I see it in the comments. Go ahead and like and comment. It really does help our community and our channel. And I know there's people who've never seen this before, just like me, who are new to it and might not know what's going on. So I do appreciate you guys keeping each other up to date, and anybody who hops in the stream later and all that stuff. Like, thank you guys for doing that. So thank you for keeping everybody up to date. Love you guys. And I will see you tomorrow for Brandon's testimony.